Welcome to Coin Explorer. Just imagine this. You're holding a tiny, ordinary-looking penny in your hand. It's light, copper-colored, and dated 1981. Now hold on tight, because that exact penny could be worth a staggering $698,000. That's not a typo. That's a real auction price paid by a serious collector. This isn't a gold coin, it isn't from a lost empire. It's a 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up from the ground. But this one had a secret. A rare combination of flawless condition, unique minting traits, and perfect preservation turned this small coin into a heavyweight of value. You're about to find out what made this coin so special, how it broke auction records, and why collectors went into a frenzy over a coin that once bought nothing more than a stick of gum. Stay focused, because this is the kind of story that makes you check every coin in your house. And by the end of this video, you might just become a coin detective yourself. The 1981 penny carries more than metal. It carries the face of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of American history and integrity. Since 1909, Lincoln's profile has remained untouched on the U.S. penny, making it the longest-running coin design in the nation's history. But in 1981, something else was changing. It was the final chapter for copper-dominant pennies before the U.S. Mint shifted to cheaper zinc cores in 1982. That makes the 1981 version already more collectible. But the one that sold for $698,000 had something extra. It wasn't just about being old, it was about being pristine. Collectors chase coins with perfect strike, untouched detail, and sometimes even microscopic flaws that make them rare. Lincoln's outline in this case was sharp as glass. The shine on the surface reflected history. It wasn't just a penny, it was an untouched monument in miniature, representing a turning point in American minting history. Take a good look at the 1981 penny. It looks simple, even ordinary. "In God We Trust" arcs across the top, with Lincoln's portrait facing right, Liberty stamped on the left, and the year 1981 etched in time. Flip it, and you see the Lincoln Memorial in all its symmetry, standing tall with United States of America overhead and A Pluribus Unum as its spine. But hidden in these familiar elements was something extraordinary. The $698,000 penny didn't just meet minting standards, it exceeded them beyond expectation. It had no scratches, no wear, no signs of circulation. Experts examined it under high-powered magnification and found no errors, or the exact kind of minting error that makes a coin unique. Every ridge was intact, every letter perfectly aligned. It's like the coin froze in time the moment it was created. That frozen perfection is what made collectors lose sleep over it. When it comes to coins, condition isn't just important, it's everything. The difference between a 1-cent value and a $698,000 sale often comes down to a single word: preservation. The star penny from 1981 was graded MS68 red, one of the highest mint state grades possible. Red means the coin retained its original copper shine for over 40 years, an almost impossible feat for a material that naturally darkens with age. That shine told collectors this coin was never touched by time, air, or skin. No fingerprints, no oxidation, no pocket damage. It looked like it had just rolled off the mint press. Coins with this grade are locked in airtight containers and never exposed to open air. This 1981 penny didn't just survive, it thrived. It's not luck, it's extreme care, timing, and a bit of destiny. That kind of condition doesn't happen twice, and that's what sent its value soaring. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in 1981, so how did this one end up being so rare? The answer is in the details. Among billions of coins, only a handful come out flawless, and even fewer escape circulation. But this one also had something known as a dye anomaly, a microscopic flaw during minting that created a unique impression. On this penny, experts spotted light doubling on some letters and a fine misalignment in the memorial lines. These errors, invisible to the naked eye, add enormous rarity when paired with high-grade condition. It wasn't enough to be rare, it had to be perfectly rare. That's what collectors live for. This coin wasn't just a survivor, it was a standout, the kind of anomaly that never happens on purpose. Every great coin story begins with a flaw. But this one? It began with a perfect mistake. When the 1981 penny went to auction, no one expected the chaos that followed. The opening bid was modest, but within seconds it skyrocketed. Bidders fought tooth and nail on the phone, online, and in person. The copper gleam of the coin under auction lights looked unreal. Some described it as glowing. The auctioneer couldn't barely keep up. 10,000, 50,000, then 300,000, and finally $698,000. The room erupted. The winning bidder, anonymous and calm, had just made history. For him, it wasn't just about owning a coin, it was about owning a legend. Cameras clicked, collectors gasped, social media buzzed. It wasn't just an auction, it was a moment of silence broken by the loudest applause. And that tiny coin in a plastic holder became a superstar. That day, copper outshined gold. So, could you have a valuable penny hiding at home? Yes. Right now, in your coin jar, your wallet, or an old family drawer, there might be a sleeper coin waiting to be discovered. You don't need to be a professional, you just need to look closer. Coins with strong red color, no scratches, sharp rims, or slight misprints can be worth real money. Sometimes even circulated coins with the right error fetch thousands. The 1981 penny proves that value isn't always obvious. A coin worth $698,000 was once just pocket change. Now it's a legend. All it takes is the right date, the right mistake, and the right condition. So before you spend your next penny, look at it. Really look. That one glance might just be the moment everything changes. Coin collecting isn't a dusty old hobby anymore. It's big business. Auctions are going digital, collectors are getting younger, investors are looking for physical assets that rise in value, and coins are climbing the charts. Rare coins are now being tracked like stocks. The 1981 penny sale proved that even small change can generate big change. It's not just about beauty, it's about rarity, history, and timing. Every coin has a story, and the market is hungry for the next great one. Collectors aren't waiting, they're hunting. And that's why prices like $698,000 are no longer shocking. They're signals of a red-hot market. If you're watching this, you're already ahead. The time to look closer is now, because in this market, even pennies can turn into power. For over 40 years, that penny remained untouched, unseen by the world, tucked away in darkness. It never entered a pocket, it never jingled with others, it didn't buy candy or fall through a couch. It sat still, waiting. How it survived in such condition is still a mystery. Maybe someone knew what they had, maybe it was just luck. But that silent journey, that pause in time, gave it immortality. When it emerged, it wasn't just a coin, it was a message that value hides where no one looks. In a world moving fast, this coin reminds us that some things are worth saving. Sometimes all it takes is a small act of preservation to create a big story. And this coin, it's the perfect example of small things making big noise. This story isn't just about metal and minting, it's about mindset. It teaches us to look closer, value more, and never ignore the ordinary. That 1981 penny didn't shout for attention, it whispered its worth through silence and survival. It reminds us that greatness often hides in everyday places. A coin no bigger than your thumb became a six-figure headline. That's the power of rarity, patience, and awareness. And now it's your turn. Your attention could be the difference between spending 1 cent or saving something priceless. So, start looking, start learning. The next rare penny might already be in your hand, or in your drawer, or under your car seat. So, before you walk past your next penny, remember this story, because sometimes the smallest coin holds the biggest surprise.